All right, today we're going to talk about integrating Degen.club with your league at MyFantasyLeague. It's not going to replace MyFantasyLeague for running it or how people play and set up their rosters, but it will give you visibility and certainly for keeping track of league fees, your dues. This is going to be a great way to keep track of everything in one place. So let's first jump over to MyFantasyLeague, and this will look very familiar to you if you've set up a league there. I have a couple divisions here, the town division, the country division. I have 10 teams set up here for my league. We're going to need a bit of information here before we go over to Degen.club. One of them is where you log in. That's the first part of this URL. So if you're in your browser, you'll see that www number. And the last thing is at the end, there's a league number. You're going to need that. The other thing we'll need is from the help menu, go to the developer API, click into that page. There's a lot of text here explaining how to use the API. You don't need to worry about that. We've already done that work of connecting using that API. However, at the bottom of the page, it's going to indicate to you what your API key is. You're going to find it inside these quotes. You don't need the quotes, but everything inside there, all the text inside the quotes, you're going to want to copy. And then it also lists right here, again, just for your convenience, what your league ID is. You're going to need to take note of that. So take note of the ID, take note of the API key, come back to Degen.club, and then add a new contest. You scroll down, you'll see an option for MyFantasyLeague. Select that, and then let's go and give it a name. You can call it, again, however you want to refer to your fantasy league here that ties to your club. You can list here what your entry fee is. I'm going to make it 55. Give it a start date. Again, kind of arbitrary, but it's nice for sorting. And then this is where you're going to replace that URL, that bit, that www could be 47, might be 44, etc. And your league ID. You're going to want to populate that to correspond to what your league ID is. Finally, at the bottom, you put in your API key. And away you go. Choose the add button. And there it is. You've saved your integration with your fantasy league. It's right there. If we click on that link, that name, we'll come in and you'll see it pulls in all the information about your fantasy league. The divisions are there. So there's the town division, the country division, all the franchise names are there. If I go to franchise assignment, that link will take me here. And this is the process where I can actually associate the franchisers from my fantasy league with members of the club. It's going to try to match on the email. And you can see some of these drop downs are already populated. The ones that aren't, I can go fill in the rest. I can see like, okay, this gets associated with Bray, and I can put that in. I can see this gets associated with Peg. I can make that association. And then if I don't actually have a member yet created for someone, I can use the add button and just create a member on the fly. Now it's going to try to pull in the information from my fantasy league. So you would have noticed that Brooker was already populated there. That Brooker email address was there because it was in my fantasy league. I'll create that club member, add it, and then that'll be saved, and the drop-down list is going to default to that new member. All right, let's finish up. We'll just finish off assigning these things to people. We're all done. We're update, and now the page is going to refresh with those assignments made. I can still edit them, though, if I'd like. So, for instance, at the very top here, for Newman, I can click the pencil icon and I can edit that. I still have that option if I want to. All right. With that done, the next thing, now that we've assigned franchises, is taking care of league dues. So we'll click on that link next. And it's going to look very similar to that last page, but you have an extra option here. By default, it assumes you're going to send a bill. You're going to kind of charge the owner of the team. But if you'd like, you can actually make it a different club member. So for instance, if one member is going to foot the bill for someone else, or they're going in, it's like, it's a couple or a parent-child sort of situation playing in your league, you can bill the parent and do it that way. You can bill individually with that checkbox or use the one at the top and bill everybody at the same time once you're ready to go. Let's undo that and just bill one individual. Let's take the top one. I'll hit the bill now, and you can see the page will refresh, and I'll see an open for the bill. If I'm ready to mark that as paid, I can just hit that link, and you'll see in the cage listing for that member, I'll see that they're showed as paid. All right, now let's take a look at one other option, which is the ability to use variable fees. So if you're not going to charge everyone 55, say like we have a situation where in our fantasy league, the loser of the league pays for the winner the next year, we can accommodate that. You're going to do it manually, but you're going to make it very clear here by listing it out in the variable fees. Whatever text you list there is then going to show up on the league page. It'll be pretty clear. You can see that's where the text shows up here under league dues. Whatever you put there for that variable fee information is going to show up there. Now when I go to the league dues page, instead of it being fixed at 55 for everyone, I get this box where I can change what the fees are. So again, I'll go to the loser, double them up, bill now, and away we go. And that's how you can handle that. All right, one last thing I'll talk about is prizes for your league. Let's go back to MyFantasyLeague and take a look at how prizes are set up. We'll take a look here on the commissioner area. And you can see, here's my playoff brackets. I have two brackets, the winner's bracket and then the third place bracket. And I even have a name listed in MyFantasyLeague for the winner. Let's edit that quickly just for making it clear how this works. I make that top hat. I'm going to save it. Now let's go back to the Degen.club for this contest. And I'll add a prize for that first prize for that winner. I'll give it an internal name of winner. I'm going to tie it to that playoff bracket, the winner's bracket, and indicate it's the winner of the bracket. I'm going to make it the top display item, number 1. And I'm going to choose what percentage of the prize pool they're going to get. Let's do a 50-30-20 split, so 0.05. Save it. Now you see my prizes show up, and you'll see it pulls in that name of the winner's bracket winner from MyFantasyLeague. I never typed top hat here, just going to pull it in. Let's create the second place prize, finish that off. So that's the winner's bracket, but this time it's the runners up. Order 2 on the list. And again, a 50-30-20 split. We'll give it a 0.3, add it. And you'll notice the prizes kind of shows you that it doesn't add up to 1. Let's finish that off. Third place bracket, the winner of the third place bracket is going to get the third place prize. Order 3, the remainder, that 20% share, add it in. And now we'll see our prize list be complete, no warning message anymore, and you're ready to go. You have your prizes done, you have your dues set up, you have all your franchise associated, you are ready to rock and roll. At this point, you can move that contest to your next status of running, and that'll prevent anything from being edited after the fact. So it'll be nice and tied in and solid. All right, good luck and have fun tying together your fantasy league with Degen.club.